Welcome back to the show on this Thursday morning. Glad to have you here on a chilly day, but it is a hot day if you are a viewer of the television show Hot Bench, which airs on Fox 4 weekdays at 2 and 2:30. And I'm very happy to have with me one of the three very talented judges on that show, which was created, by the way, by Judge Judy, who, as you all know, spends a lot of time here in Southwest Florida. Tanya Acker joins us. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Okay, I'm glad that you could spend a couple of minutes with us so early in the morning today. I see from your bio that in addition to doing Hot Bench, you are also a civil litigator, you're an attorney, you are at an L.A. law firm, and you have appeared on just about every television show there is out there. So you are no stranger to TV. First of all, let me just ask you, how did you get into the TV biz to begin with?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that in a while because it really started in a sort of incidental way, frankly. I'd done a little bit of television. I'd been a part of audience panels way back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, way back in the dark ages of television.
But actually, probably, sometime I started around about 10 years ago, just sort of doing things from time to time. And then it's one of those things that when you start to do a little bit, then you end up doing more. And so just from doing, some shows, I'd get noticed on other shows. And so it kind of built up steam. And then I was a part of a project called SheSource, which is a resource for news producers who are looking for women experts in different areas. And then I started doing so then some producers found me, other producers found me there, and then it kind of built up steam, and it's been a lot of fun, but nothing quite as fun as this, if I can be so candid. This has just been unlike anything I've ever done, and the chance to work with Patricia and Larry, the incredible chance to work with and learn from and, really be mentored by Judge Judy. Like, all of this is just a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Well, I've had lunch with her, and I can tell you what, you will admit to this, I'm sure. She is in person exactly as she appears on television. There is absolutely no... I'm betting...
Exactly the same.
I'm betting you got grilled pretty good before you got this job.
Oh, no, interestingly... She is exactly the same as she is on TV, but if you don't show up trying to sell her a bill of goods,
really?
If you're not trying to pull the wool over, which is, never going to happen in her case anyway, she's very lovely. She's lovely and warm and very, very gracious. But, we did really go through our paces before this. I mean, it's, just like on her show, we're making real decisions for real people. All of our litigants are real. They're people who've got actual problems to solve. And of course we're doing a show, but we're also deciding these cases. And so, it's really been great. And it's something that has the ability, that really gives me the chance to make a real impact on something. And so I'm really loving it.
Well, let me ask you about the concept of the show. Why 3 judges instead of 1? And how does it all work?
So the idea actually came from when Judy and her husband were traveling in Ireland, and they saw a 3-judge tribunal in action there. And 3-judge panels deciding cases, at the trial level is not, that's not uncommon in Europe, very uncommon here in the United States. When you've got a 3-judge panel, it tends to be an appellate panel.
Right.
So, people who are deciding, judges deciding a case after the trial, or a single judge has decided it below. And so it's really something, that's not, rare are the occasions where you'd see a 3-judge panel deciding, a case in the first instance in the U.S. And so Judy really picked up from that idea and thought it would be, sort of a nice, like a good way to mix things up in terms of, presenting a legal show and a court show in the U.S.
So does this mean that sometimes a decision isn't unanimous?
That's exactly right. And that's really the great twist of our show, is that not only do you see us, the 3 judges grilling the litigants, The term hot bench is actually something that lawyers use when they're talking about a panel of judges that's very active, that asks a lot of questions. If you go before a bench that's really peppering you with questions, you'd say you were before a hot bench. So not only does our audience get to see that exchange with the litigants, they get to see us go back and deliberate the case. And this is something really that, is very, very new, because judges don't let camera. We may have cameras in the courtroom. In some courtrooms, we don't have cameras in chambers, and so giving the audience a chance to really watch us decide the case and see how justice gets made. That's really another really big twist here. And from some of the feedback we're getting, it seems that people are enjoying it.
Well, I know that the ratings are phenomenal. You are considered the top new first-run, what we call in television, strip in households for the 7th week in a row, and that's remarkable.
Very exciting.
Now, so do you think people can actually learn something about the real judicial process by watching this show?
I think they can, because, again, when we both... watching the judges interact, watching judges interact with litigants. In our case, we offer the very new twist of it being 3 judges instead of 1. But, if people go to court, they will see that happen, for people who are unlucky enough to have to end up in a courtroom. You see that happen. What you don't see is how judges decide and analyze and really, come to make decisions about the law. And then in the course of doing that, like when we're back there, sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, but we talk it out. We discuss the basis for our decisions. We provide a rationale. And so in that sense, on top of all the other stuff that's new and different about us that the viewer gets, they really are going to see us explain things. And hopefully in the course of those explanations, they might pick up a thing or two.
Do you still practice law in addition to doing the TV show?
I'm still affiliated with my firm, but I really, I just don't. The show is really a full-time job. I mean, we get our cases, we read our cases in advance. We really, it's a lot to really, get the case together. We have to make a television show, and just because we're doing this on television, but it's very it's very real, and it requires some preparation. And so I just don't I don't really have the time to devote to my my private practice as I used to. I still try to do a fair amount of charitable work in the community, a lot of which is legal related. But this show very happily is definitely a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a great concept. I'm sorry to say I'm not available when it's on Fox 4 here at 2 and 2:30 p.m. every weekday.
Us.
Well, that's what I ought to do. And now that you've piqued my curiosity, and I have always been fascinated with the judicial process. And you come from you're part of a family of TV judges with Judge Judy and her husband Jerry, who was a judge on the People's Court for a year, and now you three in Hot Bench, you've found a way to revitalize and keep the genre alive, and I think that's very cool.
I think it's really exciting because, one, not just because of all of the twists that we've got, that are different from other court shows, but also, you mentioned our judge family. I mean, Judy's just one of those folks who keeps it real, as does Jerry. And if you look at her show, by the way, her ratings continue to soar through the stratosphere. She's really one of a kind. But if you look at, her and what she does, she really insists on that same kind of authenticity from us. And I think that's what makes it, that's what keeps it fresh, frankly. She's constantly a fresh infusion of energy and life. We work hard. We give a lot of attention to our cases, but we're also enjoying each other.
That's great.
I learn a lot from Larry and Patricia. They're very deep criminal lawyers. They've got very deep criminal backgrounds. And my background's, I'm frankly from the other side of the, tracks. I did civil work. So I think that, we have fun together. We learn a lot from one another. I hope you will DVR us.
Judge Tanya Acker is one of the three judges, along with Patricia Domingo and Larry Backman on Hot Bench, which you can find out more about at hotbench.tv, and it airs every weekday at 2 and 2:30 on Fox 4. Thanks for joining us today, and continued great success with the show.
Thank you. Have fun.
You too, and we will be back right after this.